All right, guys. So this is the first of two videos that I'm going to do going through World War II. All right. Throughout the video, if you feel the need to stop, please hit pause. You may definitely want to write down anything that's underlined or just anything else, especially if I say to highlight something or put a star beside something. All right. So on Tuesday in class, we discussed fascism. We discussed how fascism was moving through Europe. Right. Fascism also by this point has spread to Japan. All right, especially during the Great Depression, people in Europe and in many countries were uncertain about their future. All right, they are struggling financially and in many other ways, and these fascist leaders come along promising to make things better, promising to punish those responsible for hard times. All right, so we discussed how Benito Mussolini, all right, rises to power in Italy, all right, as a fascist leader. All right, we discussed Hitler's rise to power in Germany. All right. By 1933, when he's named chancellor, he's given complete power in Germany. All right. Shortly after that, he begins banning political parties, arresting especially communists, but really anyone who speaks out against him. All right. In class, we very briefly mentioned this beer hall push that occurred in the early 1920s. This was the event that really makes Hitler famous all throughout Germany. All right, this occurred in Munich, and if you remember, the Nazis were trying to take over the German government in the early 1920s. This was a failed attempt. Hitler and other Nazi leaders are arrested, thrown into jail. While in jail, Hitler's going to write his personal novel. He's really treated like a celebrity while he's in jail. The guards wanted his autograph. And he's going to leave jail even more popular than he ever was. That's before his rise to power really begins. All right, but this is just a picture from this in Munich in Germany, and I just happened to realize that I had a picture from basically the exact same angle from 2 years ago when I visited Munich. All right. When Hitler is named chancellor, he's going to immediately create an SS unit. It's a special forces unit of the German military. It's this SS unit that will be doing a lot of arrests. People will be scared and terrified to be turned into the SS. The SS were the ones who eventually are going to be running the concentration camps. Right? There's also his secret police. Right? They frequently were not uniformed. They're kind of undercover. They're called the Gestapo. They're the ones who people were terrified of. If it's found out that you speak out against Hitler or the Nazis, someone turns your name into the Gestapo, all right, you're probably going to be arrested immediately. Okay, as we get especially into the later part of the 1930s, fascist governments, specifically Italy, Germany, and Japan, are all going to be trying to conquer, all right, and expand. All right, this is really pretty similar to the ideas that the governments had really before World War I in this age of imperialism. But Italy is going to invade North Africa. Germany is going to be breaking the Treaty of Versailles, and they're going to be invading Czechoslovakia and Austria, both of whom were pretty glad to become part of Germany. All right, even Japan, all right, is invading Korea. All right, they're also conquering islands out in the Pacific, and they end up invading China, and they're going to be fighting a war against the Chinese, really from the early 1930s on. All right, the reason a lot of these fascist countries are invading is because, well, if they're conquering people, they're uniting their people against enemies. All right, war is going to bring their people together. All right, it's going to further this us versus them mentality. All right, we talked about Japan invading in 1931 and 1937. Okay, while all this is going on, the League of Nations is there, and you would think their goal was to stop this aggression. Their goal was to keep these countries from expanding. All right, especially Germany. All right, who with the Treaty of Versailles, they were told specifically not to expand. However, the League of Nations didn't really do a whole lot. They just kind of let this aggression happen. They let Hitler and Mussolini expand, and they hoped that after Hitler and Mussolini had taken the land back, that they had taken, that they would be satisfied and they would stop. This is called the policy of appeasement. Okay, we can see this policy of appeasement in action as we look at this map of there's Germany in the yellow. Starting in 1933, Hitler is breaking the Treaty of Versailles. He takes back the Rhineland. It's the area on the left side of the western side of the map in green. Then he later is going to expand into Czechoslovakia and down into Austria, completely breaking the Treaty of Versailles. He's terrifying world leaders, especially the British and the French, right? And here's a picture of Hitler. Clearly, he was by many people welcomed into these culturally German areas, especially in Austria. They were proud to become part of the German Empire. All right, in response to this expansion, the British and the French wanted to meet with Hitler and Mussolini. So in 1938, we have a meeting between these world leaders in the city of Munich, which is once again in Germany. Here at this meeting, all right, these world leaders are not really confronting. They're just kind of accepting the fact that Hitler and Mussolini have broken the Treaty of Versailles, that they have expanded, that they are acting aggressively. All right, these leaders then are going to tell Hitler here at this Munich agreement, please do not expand anymore. They say, we will let you keep the territory that you've taken, but don't expand anymore. All right. Do you think Hitler, even though he signs this agreement, is he going to listen to this? No, he's not. All right. This is one of my favorite slides. If you guys remember the children's book, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. All right. If you give him a glass of milk, I don't know what comes next. I think it's a nap. Point being, if you give a Hitler mouse some of Czechoslovakia and Austria, is he going to be satisfied or is he going to want more? Hitler mouse is going to want more. All right, so we're going to stop here as the war is actually starting, but the war actually is officially going to start on September 1st of 1939 when Germany breaks with the Munich Agreement and invades Poland. All right, they invade Poland. This is going to force the French and the British to declare war, which is something that they absolutely did not want to do. The Germans are going to use their strategy called Blitzkrieg. All right, it's a strategy of lightning war, and we'll go over that more in the next video. But when Germany invades Poland, the World War II is officially going to begin.